bread pakora is a deep-fried bread fritter made with chickpea batter, and this is a stepped-up version with a nice warm potato filling. Super nice and hot, crispy, and with the rainy months coming in, these are sure gonna be the perfect snack to step up your game. So let's get to it and make sure not to miss any tips and tricks I'm gonna share to make the perfect potato stuffed pakora. So we'll start off by adding in some ghee in our non-stick pan over here. You can use olive oil if you want as well. And let's just heat up that oil until it's nice and hot on medium heat, and then add in some cumin seeds for us to crackle. We want to let these become aromatic, and we'll also add in a pinch of hing just for that extra flavor and that extra digestive properties. Now we let the cumin seeds become reddish brown, after which we'll add in our green chilies. That's gonna be spicy, and then add in some garlic and then all of your chopped onions as well. This trio of garlic, chilies and onion and oil is such an awesome combination, and it's so aromatic at this point. We want to let those onions now start to soften and turn translucent, and as soon as you get onions that look kind of like this, then you want to add in your quartered tomatoes. Leaving the tomatoes big like this helps add some texture to the final potato stuffing and just add to the rusticness of this street side favorite dish. Now once you've given this a good mix, we want to let those tomatoes start to soften, and you can add in pinches of salt here and there as you cook it down until they start to become mushy. And just to add some flavor as it cooks down, we'll add in some ground coriander, then some ground garam masala, and that's pretty much it when it comes to the ground spices. Just make sure you give it a good toss. If at any point the mixture starts to become dry and starts to get golden brown, add a splash of water. We don't want to add any brownness into this tomato mixture. And this is looking just beautiful, to which I'm going to add in my boiled or steamed potatoes in this case. Now I'll link my full recipe for the Instant Pot steamed potatoes, which is the best way to cook potatoes in my opinion. Now give this all a good mix. This is the final stage of your potato stuffing, and I can't help myself but snack on this mixture with some ends of bread or pita or tortilla, and it has kind of become a tradition because I've always been doing it. Tasting is so important, and once you've tasted it, add some salt, add your seasonings as you please to make it the way that you like it. Feel free to add in some lime, lemon juice in here as well if you'd like that zest. Now to finish this off, we'll add in some freshly chopped cilantro that adds a bit of that zest. Chives will go great in these as well. And as quickly as we started, this potato mix is ready. Super aromatic, super flavorful, and ready for some snacking. Now just set this aside to cool down for now. Now the main essence of this dish is that batter. This batter is made from a type of flour called besan, which is a type of pulse flour made from a type of chickpeas called gram chickpeas. Now to the besan, now add in some freshly chopped cilantro that adds lots of freshness, then the turmeric adds color, and then season with salt. It's going to be hard to know how much salt to put based on what you prefer, but as we fry some test batter, you'll get the hang of it. Now add in some water, and now we'll start to create this into a batter. Now let's talk about the consistency we want to see in that batter. We definitely don't want it to be watery, and we don't want it to be like brownie batter either. There's a little gray area in the middle, and that's where you want to be. So think about pancake batter, thick, coast to spoon, or even like gravy. Now how this affects the final product is that the thicker the batter is, the thicker the outer layer of the final pakora would be, which means you have to cook it for longer to make sure the batter is completely cooked and you don't taste raw besan. That's not super pleasant. Now if it's too thin and we are frying bread, bread is like a sponge. And if it's too thin, the oil is gonna just soak up in that bread and it won't be a good experience either. So you have to be just kind of in the middle, and I want you to do some testers before you actually start frying your complete batch. I hope this gives a good idea on how viscous that batter should be, but again, feel free to adjust that when you fry some test pakoras and then decide what consistency you prefer. And besan, just like flour, is super versatile, so you can use it to make all kinds of pancakes and batters and deep fried stuff. I'll link it down below in case you're not able to find a cheap alternative easily at your local grocery store. Okay, now it's time for the fun stuff. So here's just some plain white bread, the softest one that you can find. To this, add loads of that beautiful potato mixture and be quite generous with it. We want filled pakoras. Put the top part of the sandwich so that you have something that looks like this. Do the same with all of your bread, whatever you're making, and then cut that into diagonals. That's the classic shape of a bread pakora. And please don't let me tell you what you can stuff in your pakora. You can put anything between those two slices of bread. Time to dip in our sandwiches into our batter, and it should coat it really well like this. If it's too thin, you won't get that thick texture like you see right now. Now here's the same thing from another angle, and I hope this shows you how delicate you have to hold it to make sure it doesn't come apart, but also how easy it is to coat it with that batter because of how thick and viscous it is. It should look like this, and now you can delicately put it in that hot oil. My oil is heating on medium heat and there's no smoke rising from that oil. The oil is ready when the batter, like you see on the sides, just floats as it puffs up, and the whole sandwich is floating as well. Once you've gotten over how fun it is to slide that sandwich around, let's talk about when to know it's done. You should get some nice crisp texture on the outside, and it should just smell like the most aromatic fry up you've ever done. And then once you get the hang of it, start adding in the rest of your pakoras as well. Make sure not to overcrowd the pan, otherwise that will lower the oil temperature and make the pakoras extra oily. Now if you want to see how to make other types of pakoras, be sure to check out my website. Sign up for the newsletter because I'm going to cover all of that in my upcoming book, Restaurant to Home. Now you might have seen these spectacular spreads on my Instagram stories as I prep towards the Restaurant to Home cookbook. And for those who haven't, be sure to check it out. What are you waiting for? If you signed up to my newsletter, which I'll link down below, you'll get updates on the progress of that book. Now these pakoras, especially the one in the front here, is as ready as they can be. The other two need a bit more time, but hot like this in a rainy day with some chai, that's just something else. And you have to try that combo, especially if it's raining. Now I'm gonna let these other guys fry up as well. And once you're done, we'll transfer them onto a sheet of paper towel to get any excess oil out. And be sure to remove these extra bits of the fried batter, otherwise they will burn and they'll stick to your next batch of pakoras and just make that texture not as pleasant as the first batch. Keep that all clean. Now if you guys live to cook and you want to see new videos every single week, where you want to learn something new, try a new technique, or just have some fun, then be sure to hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you want to support this channel, check out the merch. There's some new stuff that just dropped and I think you really like it. And let me know what you want to see in the comment section down below. And for the money shot, you can serve these potato stuffed bread pakoras with a beautiful mint and cilantro chutney or a sweet and tangy tamarind chutney. My favorites. Get these recipes in this video, in the playlist over here, and have a good one.